The Devils won big against the Pittsburgh Penguins, and what are my complaints for this game? Well, if I'm not critical, I don't think anyone else will be, but for the most part, it was a great showing for the New Jersey Devils, and Dougie Hamilton made his triumphant return. Same with Jesper Bratt and Andreas Janssen, and overall, Nico Dawes had a good game in between pipes. There's a lot to discuss in this episode because the Pittsburgh Penguins are not the Montreal Canadiens where they're a lower level team, and they're not the St. Louis Blues where they're like middle of the pack. This is a playoff caliber team. They have their sights set for going deep into the playoffs, and the New Jersey Devils were able to make them look foolish. There's a lot to discuss in this episode, like I said, so buckle up.
You're Locked On Devils, your daily podcast on the New Jersey Devils. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hi, this is Bryce Salvador, and you're Locked On Devils with Trey Matthews.
Stepped up, nailed it. Brodor's got the puck. What a shot. The Devils win the Stanley Cup.
Alrighty now, what is up, New Jersey? Welcome back to the Locked On Devils podcast here on the Locked On Network. I'm your host, College Hockey play-by-play announcer, and also Devils writer for Pucks and Pitchforks, Trey Matthews. And I don't know why the New Jersey Devils have to prove me wrong sometimes, but I am so glad they did. So if you're wondering what I'm talking about, in yesterday's episode, I did a crossover with Hunter Hodes of Locked On Penguins. I gave my overall final score prediction. I thought the New Jersey Devils were going to lose this game by a score of 3-2. I thought Dougie Hamilton wouldn't be a great enough X factor to beat the Pittsburgh Penguins, and I said the Devils hadn't played in a while, so they might come out a little rusty. Boy, was I wrong, and I am so glad they proved me wrong because the New Jersey Devils were able to beat the Pittsburgh Penguins by a score of 6-1. So I'm going to give you guys my overall reaction to this game because, like I said, I had my doubts coming into this matchup because here's the facts. The Devils hadn't played in over a week. This is a playoff caliber team because the Pittsburgh Penguins are like second in the Metropolitan Division. And I said, okay, Dougie Hamilton coming back for the New Jersey Devils, that's definitely going to pay dividends for them. But I just don't think Dougie Hamilton is the great enough X factor for us to beat the Pittsburgh Penguins. And like I said, lo and behold, I was so wrong because I'm just thinking in my mind, I'm thinking about like our last few matchups against the Penguins in which we lost 4-2 on February 13th. And then I think about the Tampa Bay Lightning in which we lost 6-3. And I was just like, maybe we're going that way or that route. But the New Jersey Devils were able to do what they were able to do against the Montreal Canadiens and also the St. Louis Blues, which has put up a lot of goals against their opponents. So the Montreal Canadiens, they beat them 7-1 early on in February, and then they beat the St. Louis Blues by a score of 7-4, albeit that one was a bit of a dogfight and a bit of a gong show, but at the same time, a win is a win. So the New Jersey Devils winning against the Pittsburgh Penguins 6-1. My initial reactions like this, it's just like, I was just in disbelief. I was like, wait, they're up by 3 goals and period number 1 is over. And I'm just thinking to myself, I'm like, okay, let's slow down. Still relatively early. We've seen the New Jersey Devils blow big leads before. So I was just like, look, I'm not going to jump to anything, but this is certainly going in the right direction. And I certainly didn't want to tweet anything out because I did not want to jinx anything. But let's talk about Jesper Bratt. Jesper Bratt also returned to action for the New Jersey Devils. And I just want to tell you guys, here's a prediction that I did get right. I said that the Jesper Bratt will be one of the couple players for the New Jersey Devils to rack up a point this game. And I was correct. He was able to rack up 3 points. He had 2 goals and 1 assist. So Jesper Bratt returning to action. However, he was not paired alongside with Jack Hughes like Lindy Ruff has been doing the last few practices. He put Jesper Bratt on the second line, kept Jack Hughes on the first line, and Mercer is playing a winger position on the top line with Jack Hughes, and also Sharon Govich is still on the top line as well. And like I told you guys, what happened this game? Look it up. I'll tell you what happened this game. Jack Hughes was able to rack up 3 assists. Sharon Govich was able to score, albeit it was on an assist from PK Subban. But Dawson Mercer was also able to score on a beautiful centering attempt from Jack Hughes. I told you guys, you got to spread out your players in terms of top options, because if you put all your players on the same line, all your good players at least, it's going to make the Devils that much more vulnerable once they go for their line changes. So putting Jesper Bratt on the second line and also keeping Jack Hughes on the first line and pairing him alongside with Sharon Govich and Dawson Mercer is going to do wonders for the New Jersey Devils. Now, I'm not trying to get ahead of myself. This is only one game, and like I said, we were on a 2-game losing streak coming into this matchup. Man, it's been a while since I've talked about the Devils and, winning, because the last time I talked about them winning was early February, but like I said, they had an 8-day hiatus. But digressing a little bit. It's just like, this is what the New Jersey Devils needed. And Dougie Hamilton's impact is huge. It's way bigger than I realized, because even though Dougie Hamilton wasn't able to rack up any points this game, he still had a plus-minus of +2. He had 4 hits and 1 block. So Dougie Hamilton's overall impact for the New Jersey Devils should not go unhindered, because like I told you guys, when Dougie Hamilton is in the lineup, the Devils have a much better chance of winning a game. I know it's a no-Doug kind of thing, but the statistics prove it. Look at the advanced analytics. So overall, this was a great effort from the New Jersey Devils, and this is probably one of the worst losses of the season for the Pittsburgh Penguins, because let's recap a little bit, because the New Jersey Devils, they are like, coming into this matchup, they were either second or dead last in the Metropolitan Division, and the Pittsburgh Penguins are second in the Metropolitan Division. And Hunter Hodes was talking about the amount of regulation losses that the Pittsburgh Penguins had coming into this matchup. So, like I said, this is a top team in the Metropolitan Division. They had 70 points going into this matchup. They had lost only 14 games in regulation, and they had 8 OT losses. So, the Pittsburgh Penguins, they don't really lose in regulation all that much. So, if we're looking at the rest of the Metropolitan Division, aside from the Hurricanes and Rangers, Capitals have 16 regulation losses, Blue Jackets 23, Islanders 20, Devils 28, and then the Flyers 26. So, against a Metropolitan Division team, the Penguins are not going to really lose in regulation. So your best bet is to try to send it to OT. Not the story for the New Jersey Devils tonight. They came out guns blazing. Jesper Bratt was able to get 2 goals early. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, after he scored that first goal, I could have sworn that the Pittsburgh Penguins were able to answer on back. I believe there was 17 minutes remaining in period number 1, and I was just like, oh no, they're about to score, because it rang in and out of the post, and for a brief moment, you could hear the foghorn go off. And I was just like, oh, that didn't go in? That didn't score? Looked good from my angle. But anyway, that's why I'm not on the rink. So overall, I know I'm rambling a little bit, but I'm just so glad of the overall effort from the New Jersey Devils, because this is the kind of thing that I want to see out of them night in and night out. And I think the huge X factor was, there's a couple X factors. You got Dougie Hamilton making his triumphant return. You got Jesper Bratt making his return after he was sidelined for a couple days. So I'm glad that it was a day-to-day basis. And I said this 8-day hiatus for the New Jersey Devils could be a blessing in disguise, because maybe we'll finally be able to see Dougie Hamilton back onto the rink, because he had been practicing with the team for a minute, and it was just a matter of not if, but when will he return in a no-contact practice jersey. And then another X factor is Lindy Ruff finally breaking up Jesper Bratt and Jack Hughes, and neither one of those players skipped a beat. Look, I know Jack Hughes and Jesper Bratt are a dynamic duo. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Jack Hughes, I've said it many times on this show, would not be having the season he is now, nor would he be an all-star if it wasn't for Jesper Bratt. Jesper Bratt deserves a lot more credit. I told Hunter this in the last episode, because just like him, there's a lot of people who just seem to forget about Jesper Bratt and his overall impact. Too bad Bratt couldn't get his first career hat trick. He'll get it sooner or later, but I think this is a wake-up call for the New Jersey Devils. And look, I get they won the game, but this is an alert for them saying, hey, when we have more options to go to, maybe we're a much better team, because Nico Hischier was also one of the stars of the game. And you saw that Nico Hischier, he looked a lot more comfortable out there, albeit he's been having a good few stretches of games, but just putting Jesper Bratt with Nico Hischier just gives him more options to work with. So the 3 stars of the game for the New Jersey Devils were Jesper Bratt, Nico Hischier, and Jack Hughes. So is it safe to say just because you break them up, they don't miss a beat? Because these guys know how to be adaptable, but the players around them do not. So if you put Sharangovich with Nico Hischier, I just don't think Sharangovich would be having the season that he is right now in terms of just picking up towards the end of the season. Moving Dawson Mercer to the winger position instead of letting him command one of the bottom 6 lines, I think that's also going to do wonders for Dawson Mercer. Wasn't a fan of it at first, I'll admit, but at the same time, it's just I think Dawson Mercer is comfortable in the position he is now, and Jack Hughes knows how to be adaptable and just help him out in that regards. And for Jesper Bratt, like I said, despite him being on the second line with Nico Hischier, Jesper Bratt was able to score within the first 2-minute frame on an assist from Hischier and Zacha, and then on the second goal, unassisted, but still, you just see that Jesper Bratt hasn't skipped a beat. So it was a great overall team effort from the New Jersey Devils. Dougie Hamilton just makes this team 10 times better when he's out there. I am so glad that he's fully suited for the New Jersey Devils. And overall, this was a great team win for the New Jersey Devils. I cannot fault them. I'm trying to find, areas of fault that the Devils did during the course of this game, because if I'm not honest, I don't think anyone else will be. But this game was actually pretty good for them. Despite the Pittsburgh Penguins scoring on a power play goal, I'm not really going to be bothered by that too much, because the Devils were still up by 3, and the second period was almost halfway done. So I said, barring a collapse in period number 3, I think the Devils got this in the bag. And plus, the second period is usually the worst period for the New Jersey Devils. I'll talk about that momentarily. I'll also talk about the goaltending, and then I'm going to give you guys my overall opinions of the matchup, and I will grade it at the end of this episode. But first, it is time for the first live read this morning, and it comes from our friends at Built Bar. I think the New Jersey Devils had a Built Bar before the game, because they came out with a lot of energy, and you want to play like the New Jersey Devils on a good day? Well, Built Bar is for you. So this is the time of year that I pretty much have given up on all my New Year's resolutions, but not this year. I'm sticking to my resolution to eat right thanks to Built Bar. It almost feels like it's not really a resolution, because I actually enjoy eating them. Have you ever tried the Puffs? If you haven't, you're missing out on one of Built Bar's best tasting protein bars. They're the first ever protein infused marshmallow. They're fluffy, they're marshmallowy, they're not just a protein bar, they're a treat, and they're covered in 100% real chocolate. Puffs are a fan favorite with some incredible flavors: yummy, cinnamony, churro, coconut marshmallow, banana cream pie. So good, these are going to be your new favorite. All Built Bars are covered in 100% real chocolate, yes, Puffs included. Low calorie, high protein. Replace your candy bar with these. They are better. A typical candy bar can be anywhere from 200 to 300 calories. Most Built Bars contain 130 calories, 4 grams of sugar, and 4 net carbs, and 17 grams of protein. Like I said, way healthier than a candy bar. So mint brownie, coconut almond, and new this month, white chocolate, cookies and cream. They are all delicious, and new flavors are coming out all the time. If they think a flavor might be good, they'll make it, and it'll be delicious and will be good for you. I don't know how they do it, but they do it every time. So the offer is go to Built.com, use promo code LOCKED15, and you'll get 50% off your order. Again, use promo code LOCKED15 for 15% off at Built.com. So like I said moments ago, if I'm not critical with the New Jersey Devils, I don't think anyone else will be. I think my main issue was that the second period was just a little bit of a snooze fest for the New Jersey Devils. What do I mean by that? Well, when you're comparing shots on goal, 15-13 in the first period, and the Devils led that category, then the Devils fell in that category to the Pittsburgh Penguins 14-6. And then the Devils were able to regain it once again, 15-11. So I don't know what it is about the second period with the New Jersey Devils, but it was all Pittsburgh Penguins in period number 2. Like I said, I think that's my only critical thing for the Devils, which is they only had single-digit shots on goal in the second period, and it's not even close what they were able to do in the first period and also the final period of regulation, because they had 15 shots on goal in period number 1 and period number 3, but somehow, some way, period number 2, they only had 6 shots on goal, and they were held to single digits in that category only one time, and that was that period. Albeit, I think not everyone is talking about, because Dawson Mercer was able to score a little more than halfway done with period number 2, putting the Devils up 4-0, and then Damon Severson on an excellent shot and beautifully located. Once again, off the assist from Jack Hughes, was also able to make it a 5-1 game and basically save face and bring back the Devils up to a 4-goal lead, because the Penguins were able to score a couple minutes after Dawson Mercer had scored. So, like I said, 6 shots on goal, but 2 goals for the New Jersey Devils. That's also really good. So I think that's why people aren't really talking about it. And the Devils were able to have a couple power play goals. They had one in period number 2. That was the Damon Severson goal. And then Nico Hischier also had a power play goal, which was basically as if the Devils needed an insurance goal. That was the insurance goal in period number 3. Okay, so enough with the scoring. Let's talk about the goaltending for both respective teams. So hell of an effort from Nico Daws. He saw 38 shots and was able to make 37 saves. That is wonderful for Nico Daws. Like I said, I don't know what it is with the New Jersey Devils and goaltending. You're either going to get a good outing for them or you're going to get a horrendous outing for them. At this point, there is no in between. So Nico Daws, like I said, seeing 38 shots and able to save 37 of them, that's really good, because going into this matchup, he had a record of 1-1. He had a goals against average of 3.32 and a save percentage of .862. So his numbers are going to go up a little bit, and that's going to help his record as well. If I'm Lindy Ruff, I think you have to rely on Nico Daws in our next matchup, just because You kind of want to ride that hot hand. I know he was overworked. I know a lot of people aren't really giving him the credit that he deserves because the Devils had a good offensive showing. Dougie Hamilton was also back, so Nico Daws and his overall showing for the New Jersey Devils kind of fell underneath the radar, but I think the Devils will go to Nico Daws once again when we take on the Chicago Blackhawks, and the Devils have no time to rest, so hopefully they keep riding this momentum because the Blackhawks aren't really a good team. They're a few notches lower than the Pittsburgh Penguins, let's just say. So if the Devils were able to handle the Penguins with ease and they were able to make the necessary changes, then I see them having no issue with the Chicago Blackhawks. But digressing a bit, let's go back to the goaltending discussion. So Nico Daws, aka Jaws, was able to just, eat up all those pucks and had a good showing for the New Jersey Devils. And, he had a few scary moments, like I said, in period number 2, in period number 1, after Jesper Bratt was able to get the first goal of the game. I thought that the Pittsburgh Penguins had scored on Nico Daws and answered on back, and I was just like, tick for tack, the Penguins get the goal back. What else is new with the New Jersey Devils? You heard the foghorn momentarily. Yeah, you could just listen to the replay, but it didn't go in, didn't hit the back of the net. So overall, I just love the effort from Nico Daws in this one. But now let's talk about Tristan Jarry. Here's something I don't really talk about too often on the show, which is the opposing team and their overall struggles. But I just need to say this because in yesterday's episode with Hunter, we were talking about Jarry potentially, being a Vezina Trophy winner, albeit I'll be fair to Hunter. He and I both agree that Shesterkin, barring anything catastrophic happening but barring a miraculous outing from one of his opponents, we think Shesterkin is the clear-cut favorite to win the Vezina Trophy come the end of the season. And Tristan Jarry definitely has his name, I'd say, top 5 or top 8, whatever the case might be. But the bottom line is, when you're thinking of good goaltenders this year, Tristan Jarry certainly comes to mind, especially with what he was not able to do in the playoffs for the Pittsburgh Penguins, because a lot of people were trolling him. We were able to get Tristan Jarry out the game when there was still 6 minutes remaining in period number 2. So we got him out before the start of period number 3. That is amazing for the New Jersey Devils. I don't know how often that happens, but we knocked the starting goalie, a goalie who's in the running for the Vezina Trophy, out the game still relatively early because, like I said, there was still a decent amount of time remaining in period number 2. So I don't know what it was with the Pittsburgh Penguins, but this has to be one of their worst losses of the year. I'm not locked on Penguins, so I can't really speak on that, but overall, I can't speak on the Devils, and this was one of their best outings because, like I said, it's one thing to put up 7 goals against the Montreal Canadiens. It's another thing to do the same thing to the St. Louis Blues, albeit, they put up a better fight. But it's another thing to do this against the Pittsburgh Penguins, scoring 6 goals on them. So totaling 5 goals on Tristan Jarry, knocking him out the game when there's still significant time remaining in period number 2. Just another day at the office for the New Jersey Devils. I'm just kidding. That's not going to happen often, but still, just be on your high horse because I don't know how often that's going to happen, but I'm excited to see what the Devils could potentially do in their next game against the Blackhawks. I sense a 2-game win streak approaching for the New Jersey Devils, but don't take my word for it. I think you guys need to go to betonline.net. So football might be over this season, but basketball is in full steam for both pro and college hoops. From the latest odds, totals, player performance, props, to where the next fired coach is going to land, betonline.net is the number one spot for all the sports betting needs. BetOnline remains the best spot for all your sports scores, podcasts, and news this season. And it's not just basketball. BetOnline.net is your source for hockey, boxing, and UFC odds, right to the Olympic coverage and information. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to learn more about the trends in action. BetOnline, where the game starts. Please remember to gamble responsibly and visit our friends at Locked On Bets for all your betting needs there as well. And now, the second live read comes from an OG sponsor, RockAuto.com. So with the ever-increasing numbers of makes and models, it's now impossible for your local chain auto parts store to stock all the parts you need. Why endure often pointless or seemingly intimidating questioning and wait while the person behind the counter orders the parts on their computer, choosing the only brand their warehouse happens to carry? You have computers with access to RockAuto.com at home and in your pocket. Save time and money when using RockAuto. Why choose to spend 30%, 50%, or even 100% more for the same parts from a chain store or car dealership? Makes no sense. RockAuto is a family business serving do-it-yourselfers for over 20 years. RockAuto's prices are reliably low for every consumer. They have everything you need, from brake parts, tail lamps, motor oil, and even new carpet. Go explore their easy-to-use website to find the solution to your auto parts needs. Go to rockauto.com right now and see all the parts available for your car or truck. Right, Locked On in there. How did you hear about us box? So they know we sent you. Amazing selection, reliably low prices, all the parts your car will ever need. rockauto.com, everybody. So once again, before I give my final grade for the New Jersey Devils, I just want to say once again, just a great effort overall. I think Dougie Hamilton really brought the spirit on the defensive side of things for the New Jersey Devils, gives us more options there. Lindy Ruff splitting up Jesper Bratt, Jack Hughes, and just giving us more things to work with up and down our lineup. I know the big story coming into this game was Dougie Hamilton returning, but don't forget about Jesper Bratt and don't forget about Andreas Janssen because they also made their triumphant returns. And so Andreas Janssen didn't really do anything in this game. What else is new? But still, he made his return and gives the Devils more options, like I said. So splitting up the line combinations of Bratt, Hughes, and leaving Sharon Govich on the top line alongside with Dawson Mercer is actually paying dividends for the New Jersey Devils, and that's something they need to look at going forward. And I expect the New Jersey Devils to just keep doing what they're doing, and I expect that same thing to happen when we play the Chicago Blackhawks. I don't want any excuses. I expect at least a win for the New Jersey Devils. So there's my prediction. I predict a win for the New Jersey Devils, and I predict, let me think about this because there's some factors I need to consider. See, the Blackhawks lost to the Panthers in their last matchup 5-2. They lost to the Blue Jackets 7-4. They lost to the Stars 1-0. Last time they won a game was February 14th. Yep, I'm gonna make this prediction. 5-2 in favor of the New Jersey Devils. I don't expect anything less from the New Jersey Devils, okay? So I expect the Devils to come out with a win and come out guns blazing once again against the Chicago Blackhawks, and they have the momentum, so I don't see any reason why they can't do it, but, maybe traveling could catch up with them because they're not playing at the Prudential Center, but still, that's my overall prediction going into the next matchup. Okay, so let's compare overall final stats, and I'll give you guys my letter grade for the New Jersey Devils. So, shots on goal differential, 38-36 in favor of the Penguins. That second period really hurt the New Jersey Devils. So once again, second period, I get it. They scored 2 goals in that period, but still, that doesn't exonerate them for only getting 6 shots off. So like I said, the second period, that's something the Devils need to work on. I don't know what it is about the second period, but still, the only reason I'm just ruminating over it is because this has been an issue for the Devils all year long. So despite the Devils coming out with a big win, I'm just saying, don't let that overshadow the fact that the Devils still struggle in period number 2. Okay, face-off percentage, 53-47% in favor of the Penguins. Power play, the Devils were 2 for 5 in their power play opportunities. Penguins were 1 for 4. Hits, 23-21 in favor of the Penguins. Blocks, 13-12 in favor of the Devils. Giveaways, Devils led this department, 11-7. So what is my overall grade for the Devils in this game? I'm going to give them an A, actually, because they never let their foot off the gas pedal. I guess the argument could be made for period number 2, but like I said, I'll let them pass this time around since they were able to score 2 goals thanks to Mercer and Severson. They were able to get a dagger goal thanks to Nico Hischier in period number 3. The Penguins were never really a threat to I'd say aside from that one shot attempt in period number 1, the Penguins were never really a threat to win this game. We were able to knock out Tristan Jarry early. We got a couple power play goals. Dougie Hamilton is back. Jesper Bratt is back. Andreas Janssen is back. Jack Hughes had a good game. Jesper Bratt had a good game. Nico Hischier had a good game. Nico Dawes had a good game. I don't really have that many complaints for the New Jersey Devils. So you know what? I think they deserve it. I'm going to give them an A for this game because I think it was a great showing from the Devils, A+ performance, and like I said, they really kept the Penguins out of their groove, and I think this was one of the worst losses of the season for the Pittsburgh Penguins. Hopefully any Penguins fans listening to the show maybe could attest to that, but that's my overall prediction. So let me know what you guys think. What did you think about the overall performance from the New Jersey Devils, and do you anticipate they'll do that against the Chicago Blackhawks? Look, I know I'm glad that I'm covering more games now, but got to move right on from the Pittsburgh game to the Chicago game. So that's all the time I have for you guys today. Thanks for listening. Continue to stay safe. Have a wonderful day, New Jersey. Go Devils, and let's see what they do in their next matchup against Chicago. I will be here for the game recap. Thanks for listening once again.